Would you like me to start, Sarah? And
Yeah,
you'll keep letting folks in.
I
So first, I
will.
just want to say thank you to everyone for being here. We know it's a big deal to send your. Is everyone able to hear that little ding when people are coming in, or is it just me? Am I the only one? Okay, good. I want to make sure it's not distracting to you. So I'm Becca Oliver, the executive director here at the Writers League of Texas, and I'm thrilled to be here with our program director, Sarah Renee Beach, who is welcoming all of you in. And a big thank you to you for being here, for being curious about the Agents Symposium, for being interested in hearing more. This is a program that we launched 2 years ago now. So for those of you who are brand new, I might give you some information you don't necessarily need. But for those of you who've been around for a little while and know the Writers League of Texas and the programming that we put on, we have two big programs now that focus on helping writers understand the publishing side of things, helping them explore the path to publication, and also helping them to get face time with literary agents, the gatekeepers, right, of traditional publishing. So those two programs, the first is our Agents and Editors Conference, which has been around for over 30 years at this point and is now a biennial program, meaning it's happening every 2 years, so every other year. We hosted that program this year. There might have been some of you there in person in Austin, Texas. That is always an in-person weekend-long program. But we also now have, starting in 2023, our first one, and this now our second one, this program called the Agents Symposium. And it is a beautiful, I think, complement to that conference. And the conference is also a beautiful complement to this program in that it is, whereas the conference can feel like a sprint of sorts. Anyone who's been to a writers conference, you show up on day one, and by day three, you're exhausted. You've taken in a lot of information. You have taken a lot of notes. You expect you will refer back to those notes at one point, but you also just really need a nap. And then you have met some people, and some of them you stay in touch with, but some of it can become a little overwhelming, right, over the course of 3 days. It's an awesome experience, and I would encourage everyone to go to a conference like that one once, twice, many times. But the Agent Symposium is sort of the flip side of that. The idea for the Agent Symposium is that we want you to have the chance to take your time. We want you to have a chance to take some breaths, to reflect, to learn, and sort of progressively learn more and more about the process over an extended period of time that also is a shared experience with other writers who you can also get to know over this extended period of time, an opportunity to build on your knowledge in a way that lets you take a beat and figure out what you don't know as you're learning more and more what you should know. And then at the end of it, the opportunity to have that sit down, that FaceTime with a literary agent and pitch your work if you're interested. And so what I'm describing to you is the Agent Symposium as a whole. There are different options in terms of the way you can register for the symposium, which we're going to get into. But that's why you're all here today, to learn more. Actually, I'm going to back up, if you don't mind, Sarah, because I hadn't really just yet had a chance to say. So that's what this program is. So starting in February 2025 through November 2025, every month for 10 months, we'll have a different literary agent who is going to come and present to you on a given topic. And we really are, and we'll show you the topics in just a minute. I'm going to take you kind of soup to nuts, as at least they used to say, through the publishing process. But then those topics are also going to be laid out in a way that you're going to build on, again, the information that you're getting. And then in addition to that, you'll have the chance to commune with other writers, which I've already said. So we'll dig into the specifics now.
So yes, as Becca mentioned, there's a few different registration options. There's a limited number of tickets available for the full package experience. And right now those tickets are available only to our members through December 1st. On December 2nd, we'll open up registration to everyone. You can go ahead and secure your spot by paying in full or we also have a deposit option available if you'd like to hold a spot for now and secure it later. And we'll get into the full package details in just a moment, but we also want to let you know that each of the agent presentations each month will be available for individual registration, but not till 2025. But keep in mind that those who participate in the full package are the only folks who will get that consultation with an agent and will be invited to the other meetings and presentations throughout the year, which we'll get more into now, actually.
Yeah, so the Agent Symposium full package, what that includes is those 10 agent presentations. We're gonna give you the opportunity to send questions in ahead of time. So even keep an eye in mind that all of these presentations will be recorded. So if there's a date or 2 or 3 that you know you can't be at for the live webinar, we will be recording them all. You will have access to those recordings for an extended period of time if you're one of our package participants. But also, if you're really bummed, I can't be at the May presentation, but I have a question I really want answered, all of our package participants will be able to send questions in ahead of time. So even if you can't be there, we'll make sure that your question is in the list of questions that we're asking that agent, if it's applicable to the topic, of course. So there are those 10 sessions. And then after each of those sessions, if you're a package registrant, the following week on either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, we're going to rotate them throughout the year. We'll host a special lunchtime in the Central Time session with any of the package registrants who want to come. And we call these our lunchtime debriefs because it'll be an opportunity to come into a space with other writers. These will be meeting style, so you can see the other writers who are also participating. And we'll talk about the presentation from the weekend, and we'll come up with some of the highlights. The staff member who's running that debrief session will come up with some highlights for folks to consider, but then we'll also put you into breakout rooms so you can meet other writers and talk to them about that particular session, and also just start again building that community that we really want folks to build throughout the year. You'll also have access to special presentations throughout the year. If you're a package registrant, we're going to do a query letter presentation all about writing query letters. We're going to do a presentation on synopsis writing, 2 things that are, can instill such fear and dread in the hearts of writers: query letter writing and synopsis writing. We're going to demystify those for you. And we're also going to do a prepping your pitch and a practicing your pitch presentation, but then also our pitch lab, that if you've been to our conference before, you're familiar with it, an opportunity to practice your pitch with other writers. We're going to have a private Discord channel that will be for our Agent Symposium package registrants, so you can chat with each other throughout the month and throughout the year. And then all of these package registrants will have one 15-minute virtual consultation with one of the agents that is a part of the Agent Symposium. And you're going to have that at the end of the year, so in November, which means you're going to also have the opportunity to get to know these agents a little bit throughout the year and figure out who might be the right fit for you. And then sometime in October, we'll have you give us your preferences, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that you get one of your top preferences, of course, for the consultation.
And so the 10 monthly events, the agent-led presentations, will be 90-minute webinars. Each month, an agent will present on an aspect of the publishing process that they're really passionate about. And then it'll be followed by a conversation with a WLT staff member, and then it'll be opened up for a really extended audience Q&A. Each of the presentations, as Becca mentioned, will be recorded and made available to package participants through the end of the year. So even if you can't make it to every presentation live, you'll still get the recording, and you'll also still be able to attend the lunchtime debrief the following week. In addition, also to what Becca mentioned, how you can submit your question ahead of time for that staff-led discussion, so that the staff member will be sure to, ask your question on your behalf. So they're really great presentations.
Yeah, so we're going to take you starting in February through November, month by month, through the entire process. And I want to say to those of you who've done the Agent Symposium before, you're going to see that these topics are the same topics we did in 2023. We thought about completely flipping the thing over and reinventing it, but the reality is this is the progression and these are the things. But the great thing about the Agent Symposium, just like any writers conference that you go to, is the information, the general information in terms of the topics you want to learn is the same, but the people who are teaching you, the people who are giving their perspective, are how it can be a different experience every time, and how you can have new information or new insights that can really be transformative. So we decided we're gonna stick with what truly worked beautifully 2 years ago in 2023, but we're going to invite new and exciting agents to be a part of it. So starting in February, before the agent search, what are the things that writers need to be thinking about before they even start querying or pulling together that list of agents they might want to approach? March 29th, the ins and outs of approaching agents. So this is where we're going to talk about query letters, but we're going to also talk about the different ways that writers bump up against and find the right agent for them. April 26th, standing out in the agent search. This is where we're going to really dive into those ways that you can set yourself apart, and maybe some of the things that you want to be highlighting specifically, or even the things that you could be thinking about now that would set you apart when you start querying agents. May 31st, comparison titles, big topic. Everybody has a lot of feelings around comparison titles, and I love to hear different agents talk about this. June 28th, the agent-author relationship. What is it actually like to work with an agent? What does a writer, what is that back and forth? What does a writer get out of that experience? July 26th, the submission process. So from an agent's point of view, how they think about the right editor, the right publisher, and everything they have to do to get ready to submit to publishing houses. August, we're going to talk about understanding publishing contracts, which you might think is the potentially most ho-hum of these, but is actually one of the most fascinating and will give you so much information about publishing that you did not even know you wanted to know. September 27th, we're going to talk about acquisition to publication. So, what happens after the book deal? We spend so much time thinking about getting to that yes from an editor, but what happens next inside a publishing house? October 25th, publication day, and beyond, what happens after the big day? It's such an important piece of it, right? How do you not only think about getting to publication, but how to navigate that time just when your book is out in the world? And then finally, building a writing career. What is the next thing you're going to work on? What is your relationship with your agent like when you're thinking about a career versus a particular project? What are the things that writers who are successful, who are around for, years and years and years, what are they doing? So all of these step by step, taking you through the process. And then we're talking about special events. So in addition to the monthly programs, we have these special events. We're going to nail down dates for the middle three, but we do have dates already for the orientation, February 10th. We're gonna send you information in January. If you register as a package registrant, you're going to hear from us again. We'll tell you a little bit more about that and pretty immediately. But then in January, we're going to really start making sure you have the information you need. And on February 10th, we'll hold an orientation so that you have a chance to ask any last questions. We're going to tell you exactly what's about to happen over the course of the 10 months and make sure that you have all the information you need. June will be the query letter presentation and also the synopsis writing presentation. Again, all of these special programs will be recorded, so if you can't be at one, it's okay. October is when we're going to do prepping your pitch and the pitch lab, and then November 17th to the 21st. So around this time next year, we're going to take you through those the week of agent consultations. And then again, the other special events include the lunchtime presentations the week following each of these monthly agent presentations. And all of the agent presentations will be webinar style, meaning we really want to focus on that speaker. We want to make sure it's the best recording and experience possible for folks. So they will not be meeting style, just one one speaker, the moderator, but everything else, all of these special presentations that we're talking about, the lunchtime debrief sessions, those will all be meeting style like this webinar that we're doing right now, so that you'll be able to meet other writers. Is this me also, Sarah?
Yes.
So each of these symposium package registrants also receive a 15-minute consultation, as we mentioned, with one of the 10 featured agents. Again, they're all going to take place at the same week in November. We're going to work with your schedule, we promise. We're going to work with our agent schedules. We're going to make sure it's a good fit. And those will be assigned in October. So in early October, you'll have the chance to start telling us who you really want to meet with, and we will do everything we can to make sure you get one of your, of course, top choices. We are really proud that this worked seamlessly in 2023 and also works every year at our conference. So we know how to do it, we promise you. And we're excited to have you also have this chance to have a consultation. I would say there might be some of you who are nowhere near and perhaps don't think they would be ready even next year for a consultation like this. I think the Agent Symposium has tremendous value, even if you set aside the consultation. There's so much great stuff you're going to get out of this program. But even if you're not quite there and ready, you can use this time to connect with an agent, ask more, questions in a more one-on-one situation versus in a webinar. But the other thing I would mention too, which is absolutely true, is you're going to meet with one agent, but you're going to hear from 10 agents total. And there's great value in querying even one of the agents you don't meet one-on-one with to say, I heard you speak at this presentation with the Writers League, and I loved what you said about XYZ. That's why I'm querying you. So I think in the same way that is the case at a conference, you're at this event with 25 agents and maybe you only talk to 2 or 3 of them. I always say to writers, it doesn't matter if there's one that's a great fit for you, use the conference as the connection with them and send them a query. The same is the case here for the Agent Symposium. So keep that in mind. And we'll remind you of all of that. We'll prepare you, we'll get you ready, but just something I like to make sure folks are thinking about.
And also, one of the benefits is this Discord channel that you get private access to as a package participant. This is an opportunity for you to keep the conversation going each month. You can share notes and resources, takeaways, compare what you've heard from different people. In 2023, I know writing groups were formed from the Discord channel, and real lasting connections were made there. It's just a great way to stay connected with people who are going through the same journey that you're going through. And I'm so excited about our roster of agents for the symposium. These agents come from established and reputable agencies. Their experiences in the publishing world are varied. Also, like most important and exciting to me is that they're all truly invested in the symposium's mission of demystifying all aspects of the publishing industry. They're really excited about what we're doing in 2025, and they're happy to be a part of it. You'll have plenty of time, of course, since consultations aren't till next November, to receive and submit a preference form. But if you do plan to join us for the full package, feel free to start checking out these agents now, doing your research, looking at their socials, looking at their manuscript wish list pages, learning more about who their clients are, what agencies they're at. And even as Becca mentioned, and I just want to reiterate, even if you're not quite ready to pitch, you'll have 10 potential connection points after the symposium for future query letters. Each presentation that you attend or watch after the fact, you can mention in a query letter saying, I really loved, you said X in this presentation at the Writers League of Texas Agent Symposium. And that's just a great connection point to have with 10 different agents moving forward. Also keep in mind that there be 2 more agents added to this list before the end of the year. So check back in December to see the full roster, but we're really excited with the folks we have confirmed so far. And just to reiterate the registration options, there's two options for registering for the full package. You can pay in full now, which will lock in your seat, or you can pay a deposit, which holds you a spot until January 31st. So you would have more than 2 months to make that final payment to secure your spot. And so what happens next? Once you register, we'll send you a short Google form to fill out. This will ask you for more information about who you are, what you're writing, what you're hoping to get out of the experience. We really want to make sure that we're giving you the experience you want. We want to learn about who are the people who are going to be taking part in the symposium. If you pay the deposit option, again, you have until January 31st to pay that balance, a link to which will be sent immediately after your deposit is made. So if you didn't receive your link, please reach out to us. And once you pay your final balance, you will also then receive that Google form to fill out. And don't worry, we will be reaching out to you to remind you when the deadline is approaching, but also you can also always reach out to us.
Oh boy, look at this.
Becca.
So somebody asked in the chat box, about the success of the last Agent Symposium. And again, especially for those who came in a little after we started, we did this program for the first time in 2023. So we've only done it one other time. And it was a really amazing experience. And not just for the staff and not just for the agents. I'll tell you, we had 10 agents who just again and again and again said, this is really cool. And what a great group of people who came together, but also the participants. We heard from so many people from the beginning to the end of the program that it was like nothing they had participated in before. It is a very unique program, but also that they got so much out of it. And I can tell you, I know of at least one person from that symposium, and we are overdue for circling back and checking with our other package folks, but one person who did a consultation with one of the 10 agents. The agent was really interested, asked for a manuscript. The agent read the manuscript and signed that person as a client. And within, I think, and this is very true, within 8 weeks at the most of signing that person as a client, sold their book to Simon & Schuster. So at least one person who through the Agents Symposium did end up with what I guess we all, think of as the biggest goal. But at the same time, I've heard from countless people who just said, I ended up signing with an agent and they weren't an agent from the Agents Symposium, but the information that I got and the way that I learned about how the process worked made a big difference for me as I started to pursue agents and as I started querying and checking in with them. So we have some quotes for you here. We have many of these testimonials, but I can tell you that it really is a singular and special experience. And I know there are some folks here who've dropped notes in the chat box who were at the Agent Symposium the last time around. And we are so excited to take, some of the stuff that we learned for sure from the last time and put it into place in 2025 to put together a really special program for you. And I think that takes us to just really honestly wanting to open it up to you all for questions, but to say that whether you have questions right now or you have questions later, you can always reach out to us. We do not take it lightly, us asking you to spend some money. I believe, Sarah, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the current registration for members for the package is
$449.
$449. it's money, guys. It's a good bit of money. So please know, we don't want you to spend it if it doesn't feel like the right fit for you. We don't want you to spend it if you're on the fence and you still need questions answered before you make that decision. We want you to come to us and ask us all the questions you possibly can and feel really good about it. So we're here for you, and we encourage you to reach out. And we're also just gonna see if there are any questions right now in the room that we can possibly answer for you to
Okay.
sure
Oh, yeah.
you get answers.
Yeah, there was a question before you joined, and I knew we would cover it, but I want to make sure we kind of circle back to it. Someone attended in 2023, and they wanted to know what they would get out of attending again in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just say again, what I mentioned a little while ago, which is, and I believe this, truly from my own experience as an agent, and just knowing that I've gone to conferences and sat on panels with other agents and heard someone answer the same question that I was answering in a completely different way. And then you see the line of people who line up, and they're just, because they're hearing something different from each of us, but they're hearing what they need to hear from that one particular person, if that makes any sense. Like, I think the truth is agents are all different. They all have different perspectives. And so that's the real special piece of this, right? We find for you 10 really great people who are going to talk about not reinventing the wheel of publishing, but who are going to take you through that journey and give you their own unique perspective. So I think you get that out of it. I think you probably will find that there will be things that, are repeated even in the second go at it that will be new to you and that will reinforce something that maybe you weren't ready to hear before. So sometimes it's about the difference in the program. Sometimes it's about the difference in you and where you're at now versus where you were if you were here in 2023. So I do believe that there's something to be gotten out of it. But again, only you can decide, right? And you can also, and I would say this too, there are only 200 package seats available, but there are unlimited seats potentially for those individual sessions. So if what you're thinking is, I really want to hear about query letter writing, but maybe I'm not ready for the rest of it, you can absolutely wait. We will open seats up next year for those individual sessions. And for members, the individual sessions are $35. So if that makes sense to you, we will also have, but there's not really take back seats, meaning if you are thinking you might want to do the package, but maybe you'll wait for the individual ones, I can guarantee you by the time we roll into February, there will be no package registrations left available. So if I would say, think about that a little bit and make sure that you're not going to be regretting not just diving in for the whole package, but you will be able to buy the individual. What else can we answer? Do you see other questions here? Will each agent be speaking on a different topic? Yes. So that is the last piece of the beautiful puzzle that is the Agents Symposium. Your puzzle master is Sarah Renee Beach, and Sarah is putting that together right now so that we're going to designate, you're going to know in the next, I'd say, couple of weeks, right, Sarah? On the website, we'll be even more specifically attaching an agent to a specific topic. But also, and this happened 2 years ago too, if you have an agent, maybe you're really interested in hearing Abby Walters from CAA talk about what she looks for in a query letter, but she's the one talking about contracts. When Abby Walters is talking about contracts, you can absolutely still submit a question that says, what is your number one most important thing you look for in a query letter? And so the agents throughout the year know that they end up answering some questions that are off topic because they're just the questions that everybody wants every agent to answer. So we make space for that as well in the Q&As.
And Robin, to answer your question about the difference between the package and the individual purchases, for the individual presentation purchases, you just get access to that presentation. You don't get access to the debriefs or the query letter and synopsis writing presentations. You only get access to the individual presentation, and it will be recorded, and the recording will be shared with you. But only the package folks get kind of the full suite of things we've gone over.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll mention about recordings is if you are a package registrant, you will have access to all of the recordings through the end of 2025. So even though the last symposium presentation will be in November, through the end of the year, you can go back and watch February again, March again, April again. Not a well-kept secret. We often are also always happy to extend deadlines. So if you find yourself on January 15th thinking, oh my gosh, we need to watch May again, you can come to us. Our goal is not to restrict material for you that you really need. We just do have to, in keeping with our sort of understanding with these agents and other ways that we handle our recorded sessions. We don't make them unlimited access, but you can always come to us, I'm trying to say. But if you are purchasing individual sessions, there is a cutoff date for each of those sessions, as we do with our classes. We give you a month to watch the recording. So that's another thing to think about. If you feel like I'm going to want to be able to watch these and really have access to them for an extended period of time, that is something that's available to you if you register for the package. Any other questions? And, I'm happy if anyone wants to use their mouthpiece to ask something. We'd be happy to have you. It's up to you. See, we got more coming in. People are signing up. That's beautiful to see. It really, yeah, I love this program. I'm really proud of it, and I can guarantee you would be hard pressed to find it somewhere else in the world. It really is pretty unique and special. So, and we'll do it again in 2027. So
Mhm.
keep that in mind. If you're thinking I'm still years away, then you can always just hold out and we'll be back at it again. Last opportunity. Oh my gosh. What a thorough presentation we did, Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh, typing. Robin's typing. We'll drop the link in again to the chat box. Do you mind dropping the link again to register? And Alberta, I'll just mention you need to make sure that you logged into your membership. So you're in the members section of the website, meaning you log into the website in order to see the registration. Again, it's only open to members right now, but we will open it to non-members for if there are package seats still available on December 2nd. There is no writing coaching as a part of it. This is really, we do classes and try to focus as much as we can throughout the year on the craft of writing, but this is truly an experience that is meant to shift your brain to the other piece of it, which is the business side of writing. So there's no writing coaching, but I do think more than, many other types of experiences we can have as writers to move through something like this over the course of, almost a full year with other writers. If you do the package, you're with 199 other people who are all having the same experience. That is how you bump up against people who you might find as potential critique partners or writing partners or any number of other community side of things. If we're ready for querying starting at the beginning of the year, do you believe we'll get a lot of value for the slow burn class program? Absolutely. I really do. I mean, there are always things that we don't know. Even when we start, we believe we're ready for the querying, but we can learn a lot, especially in those first few sessions. If you're ready to query, I would always say give yourself a few months and take those first few sessions where you're going to hear agents talk to you about what they look for in a query letter, what's important to them. And then also the querying process for anyone here who's embarked on it, sure, there are some unicorns out there for which it's a very short and fast road, but often we are thinking about who's the next, wave of agents we might query. What are the things I might want to do a little differently now, 4 months in, 6 months in, 8 months in. So I do believe that even if you have already started that process, if you're already ready to start that process, there's real value in what you can get out of this program. A long road, Frank, I know.
You won't be going it alone.
For sure. Yeah. And for the next one too, right? And we'll be in it, I think you'll find that your staff members, your WLT staff members are in it with you too. And I think that's another nice piece of it is that Sarah, I know is gonna be doing a lot of these programs each month with the agents, and you're just gonna get to feel like, all right, Sarah, I gotta reach out to Sarah to ask a question about X, Y, and Z because she's been here with me this whole time.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I'll be here for everyone.
um, yeah, and please thank you for understanding our time zones, you know, Central Time. But I think that for those of you who are really out of the Central Time zone, that is where the Discord channel can be great because you can be on there at any time and connecting with folks. And again, everything will be recorded. So if you miss something, you won't really miss something. All right. Well, if there are no further questions, I feel like there aren't at this point. Again, it's a big decision. We don't think you should take it lightly. We don't take it lightly that we're asking this of you. So, no, the last couple things I'll leave you with, we are really here for you. Reach out if there's a question we can answer. And just know that it absolutely next year, these individual sessions will be available. So if it feels like just too much of a financial ask, that you will have the chance next year to enjoy hearing agents talk about these various topics, and you'll just pick and choose which one is the right fit for you. But that's also why we started the deposit option a couple years ago. We think it is, we want to make it possible for you to at least split up those payments and hopefully have it be less of a big spend all at once. So with that in mind, reach out if you need anything, and we hope to see you before February. I want to say too, just the last thing, that our final third Thursday of the year is this Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's going to be a great conversation about publishing. Three writers who just published their debut books, the second part of a conversation with them. So check that out for sure. And if you're anywhere in the Austin area, our last in-person event of the year will be on December 3rd, the One Page Salon at Radio Coffee and Beer. So we hope to see you there. Can't believe it's November 19th, but I hope everybody has a good rest of the year and that you take care of yourselves and just reach out when you need us. How's that, Sarah?
Perfect. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.